security personnel were at a crossroad. They were unable to go left or right, simply because they were unable to go left or right, because on one side, the government was pushing them to eliminate Bishop Muge. And on the other side, Bishop Muge was cleverer than them by far. So they would get instructions and they would always say, Roger, tutafanya hiyo kazi. Mutafanya lini? And kila siku mutafanya lini? That is where now the security personnel were stranded. And these people, the people who are pushing for open democracy, initially they were not for multi-party. Actually, Kenya is not ripe for multi-party. Kenya is ripe for no party or single party, but the problem is only at the presidency. But on the constituency level, or even the lower side, we ask ourselves, you may want heads. You may want heads, and when you want heads, you may want heads, but then heads, the candidate you want, it belongs to tail party. So you find that the candidate you want is from a different party, and the party you like has another person. So initially they wanted us just to have open, so that when you want to join politics, it is the people, the voters, who decide whether you'll be elected or not. That is what they wanted. But because they were really forced to go into a multi-party by the system. So these people, crusaders for openness, started going for meetings throughout Kenya. And every time they have a meeting, the district security committee, the provincial security committee, and even the national security committee would have sessions to discuss all options. Then the district commissioner for Busia was advised to tell them not to go to Busia because he would not issue them with the public meeting permit. So they said that they are going to Busia. I told the district commissioner said that he could not give them permit within Busia district. And that is when Bishop Muge remembered, as a reaction to that, that is when he remembered that he was the acting bishop for Katakwa. So he said, I'm the acting bishop Katakwa, and I'll call that one as a crusade. And a crusade, we don't need permit. He said, I'm coming. Okulu said, I'll also be there. Then Okondo said that if you come, you'll see fire and you may not live to tell. When Okulu heard that, he chickened out and refused to go there. Muge said, I'm coming, and if God does not permit for murder, and if I die, my blood will haunt you for the rest of your days. When he said so, that is the time when our team, can I call it our team, took a telephone. There are these phones which were used to be called radio telephone. They operated just like mobile phone, but they were like landline. So a phone was rang to Eldoret office, where the Eldoret personnel were told that the two, Senior Superintendent Masika and Acting Superintendent Elijah Oda, they were told that there was a mission, and they were told the full purpose of the mission. And they were told that some people would come and identify themselves, and we need one person from there. who is called a dog handler. A few hours later, Masika was not there. An inspector of police came and presented himself to acting Superintendent Elijah Oda. Said, I'm the dog escort and we need a dog handler. Quickly speaking, dog section, whenever they come to your place for operations, maybe you're hiding explosives, maybe you're hiding drugs, maybe you're hiding a criminal, they come with dogs. The person who handles the dog is called a dog handler, but then they usually walk around with a local police officer who is called a dog escort. So they were trying to say that they are going to play dirty tricks and they needed a local police officer. You remember during Oscar Kingara's death, when these people were arrested by a police officer in uniform, somebody came out and presented a police identification, and so Oscar Kingara's murderers walked out. So that is the local police officer who is out to clear the way should there be a problem is nicknamed Dog Escort. So they were given somebody, I'll not mention his name, but he was from Busia, and his last station before going to Eldoret, he was at Lugari. So he was basically known throughout the road from Eldoret all the way to Busia. So when they came, he had been briefed. His initials were D.O., and we used to nickname him Adiscom, because Adiscom was the call sign for district officers, but his name was D.O. D, a Christian name, or a Luhia stroke Luo name. So he escorted them, and this is what he told me. He told me at Mahindi Hotel one time, he told me that when these people came, he was given that opportunity, and when Bishop Muge was going to Busia, he underwent what is called hostile surveillance, road carnage that led, similar to what led to Ouko having an accident on his way from Kericho to Kisumu. So they had that, and the intention was to annoy him and maybe make him cause an accident. They went all the way to Busia, and nothing happened. And on the way back, at Busia, when they arrived in Busia, him being a local, he handed over them to the intelligence for Busia, and he was told to, because that was his home area, he was given an off to be taken while they were on their way back. Whatever he told me was complete. It is only recently, after I had been quoted extensively, even when I had been quoted by the Daily Nation, that later on I watched Cash TV, where somebody was saying that from Busia they went through Golf Hotel Kakamega, but Dio never mentioned he gave me an impression of they just came through Bungoma, Webuye, and whatever. I can say this without contradicting myself, is that as an intelligence officer, and any journalist will tell you, if you find two stories that are 100% the same, usually those are photocopy of each other. So there should be some contradiction, but not so much, so that you don't start investigating to see if they have colluded to. There are some people, someone can send 3 or 4 people, go and talk to James this way, so that when I hear from 3 different people, I feel it is confirmation of each other. It is a natural story. Even anything happening, we had Mr. Swabi, an instructor from British intelligence, who one time left our class and peeped and said, "Can you describe me?" And imagine 5 minutes after he had left the office, and he had left the classroom, he started reading what we had described him, and we could even laugh, because there we were, and some were saying he's tall, slim, others was short, stout, Others were saying he had blue suit. So basically, if there is a difference in 2 or 3 stories, then it also gives it authenticity. Authenticity. So as they were coming back, now that is the important thing, because from Cast TV I learned that all the way from Busia, the bishop had not decided which direction to follow at every place. And at Kakamega, he had even wanted to use the other road, Chavakali, and whatever road. But after consulting with the people he was there, he felt that there could be a trap ahead of him, and decided to use Kaburengu, Kipkaren Road. Now, upon arriving Kipkaren, that is now where I want you now to get the proper picture. From Kipkaren, there is a river, and then there is an inclination. There are 2 bridges there. The first bridge, depending on which direction you're coming from, but we are following the direction that the bishop followed. The bishop was coming from the west, going to the east. So first of all, you cross the river where water passes under you, and then after some time, a train passes over you. So as he was going up, there was a lorry that was emitting a lot of soot, and he knew that he was a subject of hostile surveillance. Remember, Bishop was a former GSU man. So he decided to zigzag there, and by the time another lorry comes, he passes through the middle there and then goes, never to be caught, so that he can catch up. I mean, he can give space between himself and his pursuers. But one thing he did was he did not know that the lorry which was coming quicker than it is supposed to come. And then they met face to face. The bishop decided to go to the right and leave the road to the oncoming lorry. And the lorry decided to go to the left to leave the small vehicle, and they collided head on. He did not die, but he was bleeding. And then the inspector came. First of all, he told the DO. There were 4 in the vehicle. There was the inspector, there was the driver, there was an escort there from Nairobi, and there was Ogeda. Then from there, they went all the way to. I mean, he went alone to where the bishop was, and took out a white handkerchief and started wiping blood from the bishop's nose. And you see, that time you are immobilized, but the brain is not immobilized. He saw what was happening, and maybe you could even smell the acid or the poison that was in the handkerchief. You remember Masinde, the MP, posthumous MP for Mathare, also had such a treatment. So when he had an accident near City Mortuary, so Bishop, when he breathed that is when he said, may the will of God happen, because he knew it is only God who would decide whether he would die or live. And then the inspector went and got the other people, and he took out powerful walkie-talkie and talked to Nairobi and said, Operation Shika Msumari successfully completed. Now, Operation Shika Msumari is a place where somebody else holds a nail for you if you are a carpenter, and when you hit it, if you miss, you hit the finger, and if it is you who is holding, you'll hit your own finger. But if it is somebody else who is holding, that person gets hurt. But if the nail enters the timber work without any problem, it is you to be praised. In short, it means that the mission has been completely successful, and somebody else will be blamed. Now, we are turning back to the driver of the lorry. During those days, we used to have something called Maziwa Enyayo. And teachers used to steal milk from schools. You visit any teacher, you'll find tea time, they take out the Maziwa Enyayo packets and make tea for you. So somebody somewhere had stolen that milk and given this driver to drive off. And you know, a thief coming out of a scene of crime is usually very fast. And then this person was involved in the accident. The accident happened on his way, on his side of the road. So maybe he would only be charged with overspeeding, but then he was charged with careless driving and whatever, and he was taken to jail. When I gave my evidence to the TJRC, I was later shown, uh, a statement by somebody who was in the same jail with that person. This person had come to give evidence to the TJRC to say that that driver was sure that he would not live long, and he had passed information to them that he knew that they were going to follow him to kill him so that the truth will never be known. Why do they want to kill him when he's still in jail? Remember, the person who killed Gamapinto, is it Gamapinto? Yeah. He spent more than 30 years in jail, and when he was released, he started talking, and it came out to be that he was a fallback guy. So, if he would have died in prison, the story would have just said, oh, the person who killed that politician died in prison, and that is the story how it ends. Thank you.